Hi gang. Well, it seems like it takes forever to finish the right side in the floorboard area and in the sill area. And one of the last things I've had to do is put in new clips that hold the Lifeline. These clips are available from Clark Spares and Restorations in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And he puts out this excellent technical reference manual for about $20 or so that has all kinds of good information in it that you don't find in a lot of places. One of the things that I got out of his book was the location of the clips. Now these clips only go on the right side of the car. They hold the, so that's the diagram. They hold the, there's two different kinds. This set here, this piece here welds to the underneath of the frame, and there's about 5 or 6 of those, and it's got a hole for attaching this clip, and through here goes the wiring harness and the battery cable. Then there's this other type of clip, comes to you like this from Todd. They're very cheap. They come unprimed. I had to clean them and then prime them. I prime them with weld-through primer so that I can weld them onto the bottom of the frame. So this other type of clip, which is a U-clip, holds the hydraulic line, the brake line, and the fuel line. And so all of these 4 wires, these 4 lines, the 2 wires and the 2 metal tubing lines for fuel and brake fluid, pass from the engine compartment to the back of the car, and they pass along the bottom of the right frame, which is what's shown in this diagram here. And Todd shows you from precise measurements he's taken where to weld these in. So one thing I did with this one, since they come like this, I pre-bent them like this, and I also drilled a hole, used my puncher to drill a hole through the bottom so that I can weld this up onto the frame. So let me just show you how that's come out and what else I discovered when I did this. Okay, so here is a view from underneath showing the clips welded onto the seat frame. The seat frame is in turn attached to the frame of the car. So there's the clips. And those clips are attached to the angle iron here. This is angle, it's going here and it's going down here to the frame. So those are attached to the angle iron. And the problem this created for me, because that's using angle iron is not standard there, is that at the ends of the frame, the angle iron hangs down like this, but the level of all the Lifeline comes through here, bends over this way, and wants to go through where the angle iron is. So I cut a groove in the angle iron over here. And because angle iron was used all the way through, you're looking, of course, up from underneath the car here. Here's the main part of the cockpit. Here's the angle iron and the main frame cross member. And we needed a groove cut in here. So I had to cut that one. I had to cut another one. There was another one over here. Had to cut another groove through it there. The angle iron continues in the front part of the cockpit where your feet go. Once again, the Lifeline will come up in here where it's nicely protected. And I didn't want it to have to bend down from this angle iron, which is here. So I cut another groove in here. So in order to cut this groove, get this all done, I pulled out the floorboard that was up in this area, and I discovered that because the other guys hadn't pulled that floorboard out, they repaired the frame as far as they could up forward here, and I found a significant hole in the frame right here. And so I have made a patch piece and welded in a patch piece on the frame in this area. And so that's been repaired. This is the pattern I made for repairing that frame piece. This is the area where the hole was. This piece went up on the inside of the frame and bent around like this to the bottom of the frame. And that's what I was just showing you that I welded in. And I used a lot of little tack welds along the edges. And I was a little worried about over here because there was a little bit of a gap over in this area where I welded it onto the frame, but I was able to close that up. And so now instead of having a big hole in my frame, I've got all new solid metal all the way around. Of course, that's what the other guys had done for me, and they just missed this spot because it was way far forward, and they didn't take out the front footboard, which really goes from the bottom up towards the top of the cockpit. They hadn't removed that, and so they didn't have access to the frame where the hole was. They probably didn't even see that hole. But I removed that board for another repair that I'm going to show you next. And that's when I discovered the problem with the frame. So with the frame repaired, I can move on to the next repair, which is in the front where the feet go.